Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my Atakline for this Monday, March 16th, 2015. Alright, let's kick off with DJ Zack Attack news. I only had one gig this past weekend. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Don't have me towards St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. And in honor of that St. Patrick's Day, there was an event in Romeo that's always held the Saturday before St. Patrick's St. Baldrick's. Yeah, this is my fifth year DJing at the Kids Bingo Tent, my first gig in a couple weeks, so I was got to get back into DJ action. It was held in Romeo, the Romeo Lions Club. Like I said, I've done this St. Baldrick's for 5 years running at the Kids Tent, and it was an amazing show as usual. It's always two rushes. But we started at 11:30, not much a.m., not much happened until like 12:30. The first rush was like 12:30 to 1:30. Second rush was like 2:30 to 3:30, and the 3:30 rounded down a little bit as it ended at 4. Not much happening, but still, it was a fun day. I was nervous the first time I did it. I was unnerved by it at first. I was like, how was I gonna do with DJ Bingo? But it ended up being fun the first year. I've been doing it, like I said, for the last couple of years, and it was another fun show. I got to name that tune for the second year in a row, and that's always a good thing. Name that tune. So I did it last year by a suggestion by one of the parents. She's like, how did you name that tune this year? And I did it last year. It was a hit, so I did it this year. They even asked me if I was doing it again, which I had planned on doing it because it was so popular last year. So we did it again. Went well. Thank you again to Romeo St. Baldrick's, to everybody down there in Romeo. I think they raised a lot of money. It was a great day on Saturday. Good weather, too. It was a little chilly, but at least it wasn't snowing or raining. It was in the 50s, at least it wasn't in the 30s, like last year. So there you go. I have a couple gigs this week. I have a mother-son dance on Saturday, and a Friday now I'm on, and Saturday I got a gig in Midland for the Income Yachting Association. Now on to your entertainment news with your number one movie in America. Well, after a couple of shitty weeks with only 13 million made by all the number one movies, the number one movie this week made more money than in the first 2 weeks of the last two number one movies combined, as the live-action version of Cinderella debuted big with an estimated $70 million during the first weekend, entry 67 officially, while One Night with Liam Neeson, bombity with 11 million. And the success of Cinderella comes at a unique time, as Disney announced a lot of plans for its future films, including the release date of another live-action version of an animated classic, Beauty and the Beast, set to come out March 17th, 2017. That means 2 years from tomorrow will be Beauty and the Beast in theaters, and it'll be in 3D. The main cast has been named, including Emma Watson as Belle, Downton Abbey star Dan Stevens as the Beast, Luke Evans as Gaston, Josh Gad, who's known for Frozen, by the way, there would be a Frozen 2, get to that, will play LeFou, the sidekick of Gaston, along with Luke Evans playing Gaston, Emma Thompson joining the cast as Mrs. Potts, and Kevin Kline as Maurice. No one on anybody named for all the other secondary characters like Lumiere, Chip, and Clocksworth. Now, I saw the live-action version of Alice in Wonderland a couple years ago, but I've not seen the animated version, so I couldn't compare and contrast properly. But now with the live-action version of Beauty and the Beast coming out, and I've seen the animated version, probably my favorite Disney movies of all time, and I can fully compare and contrast the live-action animated movie. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this live-action version, because, like I said, Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite Disney animated films of all time. I was raised on that movie next to The Lion King and Toy Story. There will be a Toy Story 4, I know that. So I get ready to see the live-action version of Beauty and the Beast come out in 2017. And as I also mentioned, Frozen 2 is official. Of course, Frozen Fever is a short that airs before Cinderella. And on Thursday, the day before the Frozen Fever release, after months of speculation, it was official. Frozen 2 will be coming out. Not announced the date yet or production date, but we do know that Frozen 2 is happening. That means more songs for me to play when the kids requested doing Danny Donna dances, and more songs for kids to drive their parents off the wall after being sick of letting go. So they got to make that little joke there. So there you go. Now I got an update on a news article I mentioned on Wednesday. The Rolling Stones U.S. tour rumors. Now, as I mentioned on Wednesday's Atakline, at the time, the Rolling Stones were rumored to announce their tour last week, and the tour would rumoredly kick off in San Diego in May. Although we didn't get a proper tour announcement last week, on Friday, a very cryptic video aired on the Rolling Stones Facebook page, hashtag Satisfaction Thursday, leading to conclusions that this Thursday the 19th, the Stones will announce their tour this week. Now, billboards have been popping up all across the country, including billboards at rumored cities that were already speculated, like Buffalo, Pittsburgh, LA, and San Diego, among others. But there are new cities been added to the mix, with billboards being seen in Orlando, Atlanta, Minnesota, Milwaukee, and Detroit. After being excluded from the 2013 tour, Detroit is set to be part of the Stones' new tour. So I think, looking back on it, Stones played all arenas last time around, and out of the 7 times the Stones have played Michigan in the last 30 years, 6 out of those 7 last Detroit trips were in stadiums. So I'm not too surprised, looking back on it now, that Stones did not tour Detroit in 2013, since they're aiming towards stadiums this time around, either Ford Field or Comerica. They have played both stadiums one time. Ford Field back in 2002, and Comerica the last time they were in Detroit 10 years ago. So, well, Super Bowl doesn't really count. They did Super Bowl at Ford Field in 06, which was their last official Detroit appearance. But they played one full show at the Ford Field in 2002. One of the very first shows when Ford Field opened. So there you go. Rolling Stones may give us for Satisfaction on Satisfaction Thursday, following last tours, Start Me Up Wednesday. And the billboard's popping up, so we'll get a proper tour announcement this Thursday, and hoping to get to see him in Detroit. If not, I will travel if I have to, if the day in Detroit doesn't go right with my DJ gig schedule, because it's only a summer tour, so there you go. Speaking of tour news, while the Stones are making us wait for their tour news, Meghan Trainor is not making us wait, as she will announce today. She announced the follow-up tour to That Bass Tour. That Bass Tour, coming off the success of her first 2 singles, All About That Bass and Lips Are Moving, played smaller venues, like St. Andrews Hall in Detroit. But now she releases the video for the 3rd single from the title album, Dear Future Husband. She announced a tour which will hit more larger venues. Theaters, this time around. The M-Train Tour, which is named that, will kick off on July the 3rd in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and will hit all the big cities in mostly small theaters, including Chicago, St. Louis, San Antonio, Denver, the Fillmore in Denver, Columbus at the State Fair, a couple State Fair appearances, and some festival appearances, including 2 stops in Michigan. One stop will be at the Lansing Common Ground Music Festival on July 7th, and 2 days later at Detroit at the Fillmore. And I love that venue. A couple miles down the road from St. Andrews Hall, where she played last. Critically reviews for That Bass Tour, and now she's back on the road on the M-Train Tour, Meghan Trainor, starting in July. Tickets go on sale for most of the shows this weekend. She also hit the Wyman in Nashville. Been there before. Nice venues. So there you go. Meghan Trainor Tour set to kick off in July. Now, on to some news on another person I mentioned on the Atakline on Wednesday, Kendrick Lamar. Now, as I mentioned on Wednesday's Atakline as well, Kendrick Lamar was scheduled to release his new album, To Pimp a Butterfly, next Tuesday, actually next Monday the 23rd. But today, early this morning, early Sunday night, the album, mistakenly or not, leaked onto iTunes, and you can buy the album on iTunes. I heard it was purposely done by Kendrick's marketing people, but Kendrick's producer was not too happy about the album leaking, whether it's intentional or not, and the album was taken off immediately from buying on iTunes, still on pre-order though. But as of press time, as of this Atakline, there is the album streaming on Spotify. I think the album is still streaming on Spotify as of right now. So there you go. Kendrick Lamar trying to get a surprise digital release of his album a week early, but it kind of crashed in his face with it going back on pre-order on iTunes. But as of right now, you can check on this though, and I haven't because I don't have Spotify. I have Rhapsody instead. You can check Spotify and see if the album is still streaming. but rave reviews for the album already, especially coming off the great Good Kid, Mad City album. So he had a lot to top, and we're hearing positive reviews for the album from people who are hearing it right now. Now some news on Justin Bieber. Haven't heard that name in a while. But I'm a fan of comedy. I'm a fan of Comedy Central. I love like Tosh.0, Amy Schumer. But one of my favorite shows on the Comedy Central, besides those shows, including Quo Show, is the Comedy Central roast. I've seen basically almost every roast they've done since they had their own roast instead of hosting the Flyers roast. They've hosted like Dennis Leary, Larry the Cable Guy, Flavor Flav. They haven't done a roast in a couple of years since their lackluster James Franco roast, which was the worst roast in history because there's a lot more ass kicking than dissing. So when they announced earlier this year that they were going to roast Justin Bieber, I was like, they better fucking let him have all the roast his ass completely. And they taped the roast over the weekend, which will air on March 30th. And from what I'm hearing, that this will be the best roast in a redemption from the weak James Franco roast. With a lot of big names, they have some good, funny comedians like Jeff Walsh, Natasha Leggero, Evan Hart's your roast master, and Hannibal Burgess, along with celebrities like Ludacris and Martha Stewart, why her, and Snoop Dogg, who was on a roast before, Flavor Flav. Even Will Ferrell showed up to the occasion. Hey, Roastmaster Kevin Hart is starring in, of course, Get Hard with Will Ferrell, which will be out in theaters when the roast airs. He came as Ron Burgundy. That was fun. I can't wait to see that roast air on January 30th, March 30th. It was announced in January, taped in March. It will air on March 30th at 9/8 Central, 10/9 Central, flubbing in A, so bear with me here, on Comedy Central. So can't wait to see that roast, and I'm hearing lots of good things, and it's better than the Franco roast, which is a good thing. So there you go, and that is the Atakline for today. Thank you very much for watching. Stand by, y'all been attacked by the news from Zach. See you all later, yeah.